Yeah, I think it's not something you expect. It's it's a big deal. It's a major transition in terms of your head coach, and it's something that we've had to work through over the last couple of days. And that's what we're trying to do now, obviously, with a really big occasion at the weekend. But it's been a tough couple of days, and we've managed it as well as we possibly can, and probably tried to turn the page in terms of moving on to a game this weekend. I suppose, as it says on the tin, really, my role is around team preparation, team selection, continuing with recruitment and contracting. I think the difference is that, or not the difference, I think the thing that builds an awful lot of confidence is we've got a really good coaching team. And in terms of the hands-on coaching, our attack coach, defence coach, primarily take most of our game, with Andy taking the set piece and George and Mossy chipping in as well. So I suppose mine is more from an overview point of view, how we align, how we coordinate. So it allows me to continue doing the long-term stuff and strategic stuff that I am doing. But obviously now for the next little while, my focus will switch, or I'll dial up more in terms of leading the team from a coaching point of view. Yeah, look, I suppose starting with that, and that's one part, that's the very visible piece. Won a trophy. We finished top of the league last year, and he was coach of the year last year. And I think it's fair to say that he's one of the most recognisable coaches of any province. He lived the true values of Munster, like constantly. And I think he was a guy that was loved by the supporters, loved by the community, and had a huge connection to the province. Look, on a personal level, I couldn't say enough positive about Graham. He's been really good to me. He's been really good to the club, and I think that's why I think there's been such a reaction to the news this week. I think the first thing we did is we named it, we faced it, we talked about it, and we made it clear that it was okay to talk about it. We didn't need to whisper in corridors, and we addressed it as a group. So we had to do it remotely on Tuesday because we were off, and we just got in from South Africa on Monday. But then we got together as a group, staff and then players, and we took the morning to really talk through it, and what the impact was. And I suppose that's what maybe my initial job was to talk through it and then outline what the next steps looked like. The second half of the day, and I don't want to sound insensitive, but then we had a day and a half to prepare for a big game at the weekend. So the second half of the day was very much about setting the scene for what is a massive game at the weekend, and that's the way we approached it. We gave people space, we gave them time, and it was a good bounce back today, in particular in Thomond Park when we were training. Look, it's hard to explain. I know it's such a big week, and we've had so much to deal with in the last couple of days, but the last day and a half and the way everybody's embraced the fixture, we're looking at playing the occasion rather than just playing the game, make it special. The history between the two teams is incredible. It's 46 years to the day since the 78 game. We've had messages coming from the likes of Doug Howlett, Lifemi Maffey, who played in those games, videos in meetings, footage from the 78 game, Ollie and Nanks within the squad talk to us about what the haka means, what it represents. We've really tried to understand their DNA, their identity, and just make the build-up special as well. Because at the start of the week, Dennis Leamy talked about that game, and he said as great as the game was, he remembers the build-up. So that gave us a good little idea in terms of try and make the build-up special. And that's what we've done, and the lads have really embraced it. Takir is due back for the Lions game for our next league game. We've got a couple of A fixtures in November, which is the first competitive A fixtures for a while. That's really positive for us, because as players come back from injury, they get some quality game time along with their AIL. Peter's back now, so he's back fit, and David Kilcoyne, I actually spoke to him just before we come out. He's hoping to be available for the Lions, but he'll be just back training at that point. I'm not sure if you mentioned anyone else there, Tom. Sorry if I missed anyone.
Maybe like the dog ball guys like that.
Edwin is back end of November, probably looking at early December now. Like genuinely, if you asked me a week ago, you asked me now, it makes no difference. We're very confident where our squad is at. We've had a focus on our pathway and developing young players, and they're coming through really, really strongly. And the middle tier of our squad is really pushed on. So the vision that we laid out a few years ago is really coming to fruition. We're inconsistent at the moment in terms of our form, and we need to get more people back on the field. but that's probably where our focus is. You know, the support from the RFU and the support from the Munster, the board and the PGC, anytime we look for something, it's been there. As always, you know, there's certain constraints, but it certainly isn't, it isn't a limiting factor.